Now, Emmanuel here, and economics, a moment with. We've got questions, right? We've been covering semiconductor chips. Um, so let's try and get our heads around the how common the semiconductor chip is. I mean, what is its weight on the world trade, so to speak, right? So by the year 2020, global trade is about $16 trillion. To put that to scale, um, 16 trillion. Kenya's output, right? Oh, this is exports, by the way. That's a value of global trade, so not GDP, right? Out of that 16 trillion, around 696 billion of that value was ascribed to the semiconductor, a specific type of semiconductor, actually, the integrated circuit, right? That's a specific kind of a semiconductor device. Okay, so, I mean, what's the deal with all these chips? Why would I want one anyway? Look, an integrated circuit is not a complete product, right? These chips, it's not a final good. It's an what economists will call an intermediate good, right? So if I buy these chips, they gotta go with something. They gotta go. It's like chips can't go alone. Some ketchup. The chips are inputs for other final goods. Talking about a manufacturer who is making a smartphone, for example. He has a smartphone factory somewhere, and you're talking about your manufacturer for fridges or any kind of electronic appliance that you have around your house, right? So, what does that mean then? That means that everyone is using chips. Everyone has chips. Everyone loves chips. Even if they don't know it, you love your smartphone, that means you love chips. You use your refrigerator, you love chips. So then, if everyone loves chips, and all of a sudden there's a supply uh, shock, right? The market for supplying these chips is constrained for a while. Oh, that could actually mean pain, or in economic parlance, right? As economists would say, your consumer welfare will actually be decreased, right? Your consumer choice will be constrained because all of a sudden you're going to the market, you wanted to buy the latest smartphone and it's not there. Maybe your government wanted to roll out some 5G system and maybe the chips are no longer available. We saw this happen with motor vehicles, right? There was many models that came out of the production line late because of supply chain shocks, right? That occurred first during COVID, and then also because of different policy preferences of states that have a lot of say in the trade and the production of these chips, right? You're talking about China and United States particularly, right? So these chips, everyone loves them, and we can't do without them because we are demanding more and more computing power. We're putting computers in everything. Households have more electronic appliances, the Internet of Things, right? There's more interconnectivity. You're talking about devices that are, maybe many years ago, your refrigerator wasn't really calculating much. It had a very simple cybernetic system, just kind of like a thermostat, maintaining temperature. Now it's doing so much more. Some fridges are telling you when your milk is spoiled or finished or something like that, right? Some of these fridges can even order more milk from the store. So what does this mean then? This means that if you're a policymaker, doesn't matter where you are, Johannesburg, Nairobi, New York, DC, whatever, London, but really the developing world, uh, in the developing world, this is a conversation that will begin to be had and should be had. And we should start to ask ourselves, okay, what does it mean when there's supply shocks to the semiconductor trade, right? What kind of development questions does it raise?